Shalom. Kahalo Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Shalom and salutations and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, where I continue to learn this 100% truth from. They rule well. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, Barakatham, the water for your sacrifices. Shalom to the elder bishops, the elders, the prophets and the teachers, and evangelists of Great Millstone, where I continue to learn this 100% truth. Shalom to the speckled bird, confused face, the Akim and Aqua, the Akim on the highways and byways, and last but not least, the elect. Back again with another video, praying that you be edified with it. In this video, I'm going to, I'm not sure what I'm going to call it yet. I have a couple of videos I'm going to play. Different videos, but, just different things that I have that I found on TikTok, and I said to myself, let me get some scriptures for it. So I'll play the first video, and then we'll go from there.
The national unemployment rate for Black Americans is now 7.2%. That's the highest level since 2021. For comparison, the overall U.S. unemployment rate is just 4.2%. What's surprising is that education isn't protecting workers. Even Black college graduates are struggling. Their unemployment rate has nearly doubled in just a few months. Economists say the slowdown is hitting jobs that are more vulnerable, like entry-level positions or federal jobs. Those are roles where many Black workers have historically found stability. And the numbers have a human cost. Families are falling behind on rent. Even people with advanced degrees say they can't find steady work. Experts warn this could erase years of progress in closing the racial employment gap, and with diversity programs being cut back, recovery could take even longer. And that's connecting the dots.
So you see, Esau's education doesn't mean squat. Never did. We wasted our time. Even I, went into college and wasted our time for nothing. And a lot of times I think about that, well, I could have been learning. But everything happens the way Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai wants it to happen. So now this is another fashion of how they're going to squeeze the children of Israel. That 2/3 are going to take that sea hit, man. This is a form of what's going to happen. It's all leading to that. This is Ecclesiastes 12:3, and it reads, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grandest cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened, and the doors shall be shut in the streets, when the sound of grinding is low." The grinding is jobs, working. "And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Also, when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fears shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, the desire shall fail, because men go up to his long home, and mourners go out about the streets. Or ever the silver cord be loose, or the golden bowl be broken, or the pitcher be broken at the fountain, or the wheel be broken at the cistern. There shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto the Most High who gave it." So that's saying that there's going to be a lot of how can I say, a lot of unaliving going on. A lot of people returning to the spirit world. Let's get the next one.
Well, we begin with an eruption of violence in Chicago. Overnight, 5 separate shootings across the city left one 25-year-old.
And how could you deny what Nero was saying about sending troops out there? Man, it's a war zone out there. They don't call it Chirac for nothing. It's a war zone out there, man. Talking about you got your state under control. No, you don't. You never did.
Woman dead, 7 people injured, including eruption of violence in Chicago. Overnight, 5 separate shootings across the city left one 25-year-old woman dead, 7 people injured, including a 17-year-old who was shot multiple times. The violence stretching from the south side to the west side, and as of yet, no suspects are in custody. And it comes as ICE is now preparing a major enforcement operation in Chicago next week. This is part of the president's crackdown on sanctuary cities. The White House now targeting cities that limit cooperation with immigration authorities, calling them a public safety risk. Now, city officials say they haven't been contacted by the Trump administration as of yet, with Governor Pritzker calling this an invasion. Mayor Johnson just now signing an executive order in response to the possible deployment of the National Guard in Chicago. The order demanding President Trump abandon his plans to deploy the troops. Mayor Johnson also warning residents to prepare for the, quote, escalating threats from the federal government. The White House just now responding to that executive order, saying Democrats should stop doing, quote, publicity stunts to criticize the president, urging instead for them to work with the federal government. NewsNation national correspondent Mills Hayes is live in Chicago with all the details on this one. Mills.
And you know, in my opinion, I truly believe that in Chicago, when the troops deployed into Chicago, that you know, there's going to be, that's just my opinion, it's going to be a retaliation gunfire this time. In D.C., they didn't, you know, when they was kind of struck by what was happening. But I believe in Chicago that, because, you know, they don't play out there, man. You know, they quick to go to that sword, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I believe that some things are going to happen out there in Chi-Town. This is Psalm 17 and 13. It reads, "Arise, O power, Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword." Now, we understand through the scriptures that the sword is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, using Esau to do that evil work. You know what I'm saying? And the sword is how they get down, which is the modern day gun today. So, you know, these types of things are definitely going to take place. Do I have another scripture? Let's see. Yeah, I do. Because Esau knows it, but he acts like he doesn't know it. This is Revelation 13 and 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Yeah.
Hi, Kelly. Well, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson signing that executive order earlier today and saying to the Trump administration to stand down from any military deployment like the National Guard here in Chicago. That executive order banning Chicago police from working with federal agents on patrols, on any kind of civil immigration enforcement, and any arrest operations that they may do. The order also urges federal officers in Chicago to not wear masks and to use body cameras and to also identify themselves with names and badge numbers.
So, you know,
and any arrest operations.
I'm just thinking with that, we'll have like agent provocateurs who's going to, you know, provoke situations, especially in Chicago. Like, you know what I mean? I could be wrong, but, you know, I just feel like there's going to be some gunfire exchanged with those YNs in the military and the government in Chicago.
That they may do. The order also urges federal officers in Chicago to not wear masks and to use body cameras and to also identify themselves with names and badge numbers.
Well, one of the things that it does is it ensures that there's a clear distinction between our local police department and federal agents. It gives a very clear directive, but it also gives very specific directives to our law department to make specific FOIA requests so that if there's any immigration enforcement that's happening in our city, we have to know about it.
The order demands Trump refrain from deploying military forces to Chicago for immigration enforcement. Border czar Tom Homan telling News Nation plans to send them to a naval base north of Chicago is being discussed at the White House. A White House spokesperson responding to this new executive order saying, quote, if these Democrats focused on fixing crime in their own cities instead of doing publicity stunts to criticize their president, their communities would be much safer. Cracking down on crime should not be a partisan issue, but Democrats suffering from TDS are trying to make it one. They should listen to fellow Democrat Mayor Muriel Bowser, who recently celebrated the Trump administration's success in driving down violent crime in Washington, D.C. Now, the main difference here is that Chicago is under the city's control. In D.C., the president there has federal authority, so we're likely to see some challenges in the.
This is 2nd Esdras 15 and 14. I know it's been coming out a lot. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For they shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power.
Court legal challenges similar to what we saw in Los Angeles when the National Guard was deployed there to dispel some of the unrest that was caused by protests over those ICE raids that were happening at work sites around the LA area. So a lot to be looking out for in the next few weeks here, Kelly.
All right, let's get another video.
We begin with breaking news. The standoff in Latin America has just taken a dangerous turn. U.S. warships are now stationed off Venezuela's coast, part of Washington's campaign to crush Maduro's regime and the cartels that back him. But Venezuela is no longer standing alone. Reports confirm that Chinese amphibious tanks have been spotted unloading at Venezuelan ports, with satellite images showing armored columns moving inland. At the same time, Russian advisors are said to be on the ground assisting with air defense systems around Caracas. This means the confrontation is no longer just U.S. versus Venezuela. It's becoming a proxy showdown with China and Russia directly involved. Analysts warn this could evolve into the most serious hemispheric crisis since the Cuban Missile Crisis. The risks are enormous. Venezuela controls the world's largest oil reserves. Shipping lanes across the Caribbean could be disrupted, and any clash could drag NATO, Beijing, and Moscow into the same battlefield. The question now, is this about fighting drug cartels, or has it escalated into a global power struggle on America's doorstep? Comment your thoughts. Are we watching the birth of a new Cold War or the spark of World War III?
Now, this is prophetic warnings from Yahweh Shai on down. This is Matthew 24 and 6, and it reads, And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. This is 2nd Esdras 15 and 5. Behold, saith Yahweh, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. These are the things that's happening right now. This is Revelations 6 and 8. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse. Who's that pale horse? It's Esau. And his name that sat on it was Death. Esau is death and hell. And hell followed with him, and power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, which is Babylon, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with beasts of the earth. Jeremiah 28 and 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. And this is what our elder apostles on down have been doing of Great Millstone. I mean, there's been other brothers on other camps that's, you know, they do their job, but you know, GMS has the 100% truth. And as far as breaking down these prophecies, they the only ones that I've recognized and witnessed that have a breakdown for every aspect of the scriptures that you can think of, and they have the answer. Some in other camps, they make up answers. They what you call winging it. So you know, if they winging it with that, then they winging it with this. What's that song? You can get with this, you can get with that. That's what them other camps be about a lot of times.
Breaking news.
Good evening, and it's great to be back with all of you at home after the Labor Day holiday. We do begin tonight here with breaking news. Just a short time ago, President Trump revealing the U.S. launched a deadly military strike in the southern Caribbean. The images just in here, the U.S. targeting a Venezuelan boat. The president says the vessel was carrying illegal drugs headed for the U.S. The president said just a short time ago, 11 gang members were killed in the strike. The president authorizing military force against drug cartels in recent days, and our Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas leading us off with the breaking news.
Tonight, in a major escalation, the U.S. military launching a deadly attack on this suspected drug smuggling boat. President Trump releasing this dramatic video, allegedly of a drug speedboat being destroyed.
Over the last few minutes, literally shot out a boat, a drug-carrying boat, a lot of drugs in that boat.
According to President Trump, 11 people on board were killed, all alleged members of Venezuela's Tren de Aragua gang, which the president claims operates under the control and approval of Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro.
We have a lot of drugs pouring into our country, coming in for a long time, and these came out of Venezuela and coming out very heavily from Venezuela.
Trump says that Maduro is responsible for mass murder, drug trafficking, sex trafficking, and acts of violence and terror across the United States and the Western Hemisphere. It comes just days after the U.S. announced plans to boost forces off Venezuela to combat threats from drug cartels. A U.S. official confirming to ABC News that 8 Navy ships, including the amphibious assault ship U.S. Iwo Jima, were being assigned to the U.S. Southern Command. But Venezuela's president has warned that any U.S. military action would be met with an armed fight. David, so far, no response from the Venezuelan.
Yeah, so it's going down, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is gonna continue to escalate. You know, and that's what we want. You know what I'm saying? We want all of these things, these prophecies to take place, because that's just a step closer to, you know, being with Yahweh Shai, going back home. You know what I mean? This is Jeremiah 50:23, and it reads, "How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become desolate among the nations?" So we understand that this Babylon that's talking about is the Babylon of in the future, which is Babylon, which is America today. You know what I mean? But you know, we understand through the scriptures though that you know, Esau is the hammer, and Yahweh and Yahweh Shai is using him to you know, destroy and plunder the earth. But you know, Yahweh Shai is going to destroy you, man. He got you in he's lining you up so that things could happen that's going to benefit the children of Israel, preferably the elect. Verse 24 says, "I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against Yahweh." And because of that, there's going to be destruction to Esau and these other nations, and we can't wait. So with that, man, I'm going to you were edified with that quick lesson. I'm going to say, Kohalo Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekahak Radash, Shalom again, and salutations and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone on down, and Shalom to the elect. Shalom.